We have an update on a tragic passing at the World Cup. Longtime soccer and college basketball journalist Grant Wahl suddenly lost his life while covering the Argentina-Netherlands match. Witnesses describe Wahl as collapsing in the press area. He received immediate medical treatment on site per Qatar's World Cup organizers, and treatment lasted about 20 to 25 minutes before he was moved to a hospital, one columnist at World Soccer magazine told CNN. One day before his death, Wahl said the following on his podcast.
Took some time off myself. My body, I think, told me, even after the U.S. went out, dude, you are not sleeping enough. And it rebelled on me. And so I've had a case of bronchitis this week. I've been to the medical clinic at the media center twice now, including today.
His wife, infectious disease expert Celine Gounder, wrote on his Substack, updating his countless fans. An autopsy was performed by the New York City Medical Examiner's Office. Grant died from the rupture of a slowly growing, undetected, ascending aortic aneurysm with hemopericardium. The chest pressure he experienced shortly before his death may have represented the initial symptoms. No amount of CPR or shocks would have saved him. His death was unrelated to COVID. His death was unrelated to vaccination status. There was nothing nefarious about his death. Initially, Grant Wahl's brother Eric posted the following video where he said because of Grant's wearing of the rainbow shirt to the U.S.'s opening match against Wales, he had received death threats. Eric believed, per his words, that his brother was killed. To clarify, Grant was a healthy person in his regular life, Eric would tweet. I know he'd been under the weather recently and that he was told it was bronchitis and given medication. I'm aware of his posts about feeling like his body shut down. He was a workaholic and had used that phrase before with me. Fox News would phrase Eric as walking back his accusation. However, if your journalist brother tells you about death threats and some strange man suddenly in his rental house just walking around, I couldn't help but think the worst, he wrote. The family will release a statement as to cause of death soon. I no longer suspect foul play.
His colleagues stunned.
He was incredibly hardworking. He was very, very confident. He was a really, really good writer, a very hard-nosed reporter. He went after stories with a confidence I definitely did not have. He believed in every word he wrote.
He had covered soccer for more than 2 decades, including 11 World Cups, 6 men's, 5 women's, and authored several books on the sport, according to his website. His body was returned to the U.S. on Monday for the autopsy, U.S. State Department spokesperson Ned Price said. Gounder wrote of her beloved husband. As a journalist, Grant began his career in '96 at SI, straight out of Princeton University. As he grew into a feature writer, he captured some of the biggest stories in the sports world, like his celebrated cover story on LeBron James at age 16, his account of the U.S. Women's World Cup win in '99, and his story of one soccer family's loss and resilience. That LeBron cover, by the way, you know it very well. The chosen one.
Very fond of Grant, and having that cover shoot, me being a teenager and him covering that, it was a pretty cool thing, and he was always pretty cool to be around. He spent a lot of time in my hometown of Akron, covering me over the course of time before that shoot came out, and or before that cover story came out, and I've always kind of watched from a distance. Even when I moved up in the ranks and became a professional, and he kind of went to a different sport and things of that nature over the years. Anytime his name would come up, I'll always think back to me as a teenager and having Grant, in our building down at St. V. So it's a tragic loss. It's a unfortunate, to lose someone as great as he was. And I wish his family, like I said, the best, and may he rest in paradise.
In 2009, he began covering soccer exclusively and became an influential voice in elevating both men's and women's soccer in the States, becoming a New York Times best-selling author of 2 books on some of the greatest players in the game. In 2021, when he began working independently, he continued pursuing the same levels of journalistic rigor that had marked his career. Grant had a deep respect and appreciation for his audience. He devoted his work life to earning your time and respect in turn. Above all, Wahl. He expressed his values through his work, his commitments to seeking truth, through reporting, supporting fundamental human rights, and fighting for equality. According to the CDC, an aortic aneurysm is a balloon-like bulge in the aorta, the large artery that carries blood from the heart to the chest. A rupture is caused when the force of blood pumping can split the layers of the artery wall, allowing blood to leak. In a rupture, the aneurysm bursts completely, causing bleeding inside the body. Grant Wahl, rest in peace.